Alright, people, don't you just love Naoya Inoue? Don't you just love him? And I want to big him and his opponent Ramon Cardenas up because they really saved this weekend of boxing, and they showed what it's really all about. And Joe Tessitore on commentary, even I think it was the fifth or sixth round, was saying this is how it should be. And obviously he's making reference to the fights that happened over the weekend, Canelo Skull, which was just terrible, and then the New York City, the Times Square card, which on paper the fight should have been good. They really truly weren't. This fight was good. This fight was all action from round one to round eight, and it's how it should be. And you know, people will say, "Oh, this person's a superstar, that person's a Teofimo. Oh, he's a superstar, and Devin Haney is a superstar." Give me Naoya Inoue every day of the week over those guys, because I've no. Whenever the Inoue's fight is announced, I'm gonna watch that fight. If even if it's on, a weird time of the day when he's in Japan because he normally does it midweek, you'll find a way, right? You'll find a way. With regards Lopez and in particular Haney, it's like, meh, I'll miss it more often than not because Inoue, you are going to get speed, you're going to get ability, you're going to get punching power, you're going to get everything. And normally his opponents come to win. And even if they don't come to win like Paul Butler, then he is able to break them down. He's something else. And this fight here, Ramon Cardenas, he really did give a tremendous heart. And he's not a bad fighter. He really isn't. He came up against, an exceptional generational talent in Naoya Inoue, who we all know how good he is. He's gone through the weights like they've been nothing, and he is tremendous. But Inoue suffered a scare in this fight. This fight reminisced in quite similar ways the fight with Lewis Neary. Now against Lewis Neary, he was down in the first round. Was Inoue, and the first round of this fight he wasn't down, but he did start on the front foot. Naoya Inoue is like this guy has a great gas tank, which for punchers, even at the lower weights, you kind of do wonder how is their gas tank. Can they go a certain amount of time at a decent clip? Inoue can do that. He can go and he can throw punches. He is probably, for my money, and I would say he probably is the best body puncher in boxing. I remember watching Inoue many years ago, maybe 2016. I think he fought David Carmona, I think the guy's name was. He went the distance with him, actually. That was in Japan in 2016. And even then, you could see he was just a lethal body puncher. And he's not younger then, he's in his 30s now, but even as the years have gone on, the body attacks it's key to his game. He breaks his opponents down with body shots and head shots and pressure, educated pressure. Although I will say in this fight, in round two, you saw the effectiveness that you can have with Naoya Inoue. If I have one critique of Inoue, is that at times he can be a little bit easy to hit. He's so focused on offense that he does at times, I say at times he does lack defense. Now, at times he does lack defense, but other times he doesn't. So he was dropped in round number two. But before he was dropped, there was moments in that round where Cardenas was able to just open up on Naoya Inoue. And Naoya Inoue wasn't punching with him. He was reminded me of Triple G in a way, because Triple G was very, not similar in terms of style, no. Well, not crazy dissimilar. Obviously he was a middleweight. Inoue is much smaller than that. But at times in Triple G's career, if you opened up on him, he would just kind of stand tucked up and just kind of let you tee off on him. And Inoue did that at certain points in this fight. And he's done it throughout the course of his career as well, where he will just kind of, keep a high guard, block the shots, let you get some combinations off, and then look to launch another attack. He did that in round number two. And towards the back end of the round, he was really focusing on offense, was Inoue Inoue. He was really coming forward. He was putting the pressure on Cardenas. And he walked, well, it's his own fault, because he pressured, and he pressured with this right hand way down low. And what happened? He walked into a big left hook. He was put down. Last 15 seconds of the round. So by the time he got back to his feet and the referee, said, okay, box on, the bell had already gone. Lucky. Now, I would say when he fought Neary, he was more hurt in that fight when he was dropped by Neary than he was here. Inoue is, one thing that I love about him is this is someone who is normally on top. But he's not one of these on top fighters who, the minute he faces adversity, like someone like Sergey Kovalev, for example, they're panicking and they're like, what do I do? And this, that. No, my guy knows exactly what to do. This has gone back to when he fought underneath Denair and he was stunned very badly in that fight, very badly by a big right hand by Denair. He knew instantly to hold. He knew instantly what to do. Same against Lewis Neary. No like panic or anything like that setting in, even though he was hurt in that fight. And again here, it's just, all right, I'm down. I'm on my hands and knees. I take the count. I get up at the count of 8, and we go again. And that's essentially what Naoya Inoue did. The calmness when he has to go through a crisis is phenomenal. And this is someone who probably throughout the course of his whole boxing career, amateur and pro, has probably been through barely any crises. So it can be a shock sometimes to these fighters when they do go through one. With Inoue, it's just, it happened. It's in the past now. Let's go. And that's how he fights. So round 3, came back in that round. Round number 4 was a big round for Naoya Inoue. He really started opening up on Cardenas and he really started putting a beating in him. Really started putting a beating on him in that round. Cardenas, it went the same way. With Inoue, the punch output of his opponent will tend to drop because, one, he's applying so much steady pressure. If he can adjust, and that left hook that Cardenas landed in the second round, he'd try it and try as hard as he did. He was never able to land that left hook again. Certainly not as clean anyway. And he was trying, he was missing, he was loading up on that left hook. He wasn't reckless with it. He was looking for openers, he was looking to counter with that left hook, but just wasn't there because Inoue, although he's defensively can make some mistakes, once he knows, all right, I can't get away with this, he's able to adjust. So he was able to adjust in this fight. He wasn't hit with that shot again. Well, if he was hit with it, he probably clipped it a few little times, but it wasn't anything major, right? Because Cardenas did land, I think it was round number 3 or 4. I actually thought Inoue was hurt again, actually, in one of those rounds, because he did actually appear to land a little shortish left hook, but it didn't have any ill effect. And round number 4, as I said, Inoue really put it on Cardenas in that round. But in round number 5, I felt Inoue was actually hurt, this time to the body. So the back end of round number 5, Cardenas was able to sink in a left hook. And for my money, what it looked like watching it, I was like, he looked hurt. He looked like he actually felt that shot. And I don't think Cardenas, it was obviously the back end of the round as well, so even if Cardenas had actually really put his foot in the gas, probably wouldn't have been able to do much with it. You never know. But I don't think he realised that he actually probably did hurt Inoue with that body shot, which is something, again, we don't normally see fighters really, because the body is there for Inoue. Like, if you're the opponent, you can hit him in the body. And not enough people do that, probably because they're worried about him hitting them in the body because he is lethal. But then we get into round number 6, and this is really the beginning of the end, round number 6, because Cardenas took a savage beating in that round. He got hit with a right hand midway through the round that backed him up against the ropes. And Inoue landed a big body shot, big left hook, snuck it in under the elbow. And that, for me, probably hurt him worse and had him in more trouble than the actual right hand. And Inoue, I mean, the body shots were you just grimace when you see Inoue launch those body shots. You really do. He's relentless. And Cardenas, the referee, was having a look in round number 6. The corner were having a look in round number 6 as well. He did come out in round number 7 and make a bit more of a go of it early on. But ultimately, he got dropped in that round. That was the first time he touched down. He put him down with a right hand. He didn't fall flat to the canvas, but he fell into the corner basically. And if the turnbuckle and all that wasn't there, the padding wasn't there, he would have went down. So the referee correctly called it a knockdown. And you kind of knew, you were looking at this and you were thinking, right, did the corner, because Cardenas showed that he has ability in there, but just against Inoue, it's just not enough. So you look at that and you think, right, did the corner want to be brave or what do they want to do? So they let him go out for the 8th round. Inoue picked up from where he left off in round number 7, opened up a combination, hurt Cardenas, and the referee stepped in. Cardenas, you could see when the referee stopped it, he was kind of like, I've no issue with that stoppage personally. It was going the way of Inoue. Cardenas had his success early on, but you got the impression the right was on the wall. And had he not have had that fight, had the referee not jumped in there, I would say round 8, certainly round number 9, one of those rounds, it would have been over. And it probably would have been over a lot more devastating and a lot more painful for Cardenas. So, referee, no issue with the stoppage. I just cannot emphasize enough how much I enjoy watching Nayoa Inoue. There is obviously talk that he's going to go up to featherweight to face Nick Ball, maybe sometime at Christmas. Maybe if there's a big card in Saudi Arabia with between 2 big heavyweights, maybe we could have 2 featherweights, 2 heavyweights at featherweight, having a fight in the other card. You never know. I'm not saying that I know that for a fact. I don't, but you can dream. I would personally prefer to see Yunto Nakatani versus Naoya Inoue in Japan. I think that fight would be the Joshua Fury of Asia, in my opinion. The Joshua Fury of Japan. It would be phenomenal. And both guys, Naoya Inoue is, yeah, he's 32, I think, 31, 32. So he's getting a bit up there in age for that weight. Not that he's struggling to make the weight, but as in, that's when you start to see slippage. They start to happen a lot earlier at those weights because they're more talented, they've more to rely on in terms of ability than they do, say, a heavyweight or something like that. So I'd like to see them get it made soon. Yunto Nakatani is one of my favorite fighters to watch as well. He's devastating, absolutely devastating fighter. So I would like to see those guys get that fight over the line. If we do get the Nick Ball fight, so be it. We'll get the Nick Ball fight. I think that's still a good fight. But for me, Yunto Nakatani. But above all else, I want a big Naoya Inoue up and Cardenas. I have to forget his name there already. Ramon Cardenas. And what they did this weekend, they saved this weekend. They showed the boxing fans that is how it's meant to be done, and credit to them. Credit to them. We had some absolute duds, some stinkers this weekend, which I think hurt boxing, especially given the fact that there was so much build, so much hype to both cards, and seeing what we saw again, in my opinion, it hurts. It hurts the sport. That is what we needed. That is definitely what we needed. We need more of Inoue's and less of the Lopez's and Haney's and Garcias of the world. We really do. We need more of that. I am going to just beat you up. I'm going to adjust defensively, and I'm going to make a fight of this. I'm going to make sure you get 8 memorable rounds rather than, oh, please let this fight end. Please, just let it end. That's what I want. And I respect so much both these guys. Credit to Inoue for the win. Tremendous fighter. As you know, I've loved watching Inoue for many, many years. So massive shout out to him. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Hope you enjoyed the video, people. Smash the like button if you could. Hit subscribe, of course, if you haven't already. And until next time, peace.